scene in the movie The Graduate when a guy comes up to the Dustin Hoffman character at his graduation, offers him some career advice with just one word?
Plastic.
Okay, when I was 18 years old and a recent graduate myself, I was a very confused, unfocused person with no plans for college or a career. So I got a job in a factory that made plastic. Okay, not my dream job. We were in a big warehouse with concrete walls and floors and ugly fluorescent lights and no windows. We all had to work different shifts. Day shift one week, evening shift the next week, night shift the next week with just the weekend off to recover. I felt like a drone in a futuristic novel, standing at this machine that popped out pieces of plastic that I threw into a box to be tossed to, shipped to God knows where. And I don't remember a lot of the machines. I think I blocked them out, but one that I recall was the one that made Petri dishes. Now, unlike the rest of us that had to rotate to all these different machines, there were two women who were permanent Petri dish producers because they were so efficient. They would grab those Petri dishes off the conveyor belt and stack them in so fast it would make your head spin. And they were like Petri dish princesses, popping their gum, proud to be at the top of the production pecking order. I, however, was at the low end of the pecking order, so I was randomly assigned to different machines. My favorite machine was the one that made baby bottles because A, I got to sit down next to this conveyor belt where these little narrow cylinders popped out of the machine. B, there was always somebody in front of and behind me so we could chat a little bit as we would grab a bottle, drop it into a plastic bag, take the plastic bag, seal it into another machine, toss it in the box to be shipped to God knows where. We get a little rhythm going, grab, drop, seal, toss, grab, drop, seal, toss for 8 hours straight. And see, the best part about the baby bottle machine was that it broke down a lot because the bottles would get jammed up in there. So we had two mechanics in our work group, and they both happened to be named Barry. So I can still remember the machine would come to a grinding halt, and we'd yell, "Barry!" One of the Barrys would come running, or if it was a really serious problem, both of the Barrys would be needed to fix it. So for us, that became a both Barry's baby bottle bonanza, because when the machine would break, we would get a break. Unofficial, of course. A couple of us would sneak into the bathroom, grab a quick smoke till the machine was up and running again. And believe me, that was the only perk in that dismal place. I stuck it out for about 7 months until I one day just up and quit because I had started to feel like one of those plastic pieces by the time I popped out the exit door at the end of the shift. But that was a really dark and depressing time in my life. And 2 years later, I lucked out. I had moved to another part of the state, and I was in nursing school. Now, as nursing students, we rotated to different parts of the hospital so we could learn the various medical specialties. So one day I'm in the nursery, and there was a newborn who was, the mother had been discharged, but the baby had been born prematurely, so had to stay to gain some weight. So the charge nurse assigns me to feed the baby, and she says, use one of those smaller 2-ounce bottles over in the cupboard. Yeah. So I walk over to the cupboard, and I open it up, and I pull out this individually wrapped baby bottle in a plastic bag with this familiar red printing, and I'm staring at it and going, I tried not to scream in shock. I said, one of the bottles that I had shipped to God knows where is actually here in my hand. And I couldn't stop staring at it. I run up to the charge nurse and I said, this is crazy. I used to work in the factory that made this baby bottle. I can't believe I'm seeing this baby bottle out in the real world. Now, she wasn't as excited as I was for some reason, probably because that baby was still crying loudly because he needed to be fed. So I stared at the package for another minute, and then I realized that I was going to have to reverse the process I had known because I had to break open the seal on the bag. I had to take the bottle out of the bag, and then I filled it with some formula and twisted a nipple on it and sat down in a rocking chair with this crying baby. And as I was holding this bottle in my hand, I let myself actually feel it as it was being used for the purpose it was designed for, as a tool for providing nourishment. So I'm sitting there and I'm imagining this bottle as a cosmic boomerang because I had tossed it out in the universe, and now it was returning to me as a reminder that everything in life has value and meaning. And that day in the nursery, one little plastic bottle held a whole lot of meaning for that hungry baby. Thank you.